but I let them know, even when I have nothing in hand, that there's a lot of people looking at it, a lot of appointments, and I do see this easily going over. And then I just step it up from there to the point where,
create the hype. Yeah, create the hype.
on $1 million property, $1.2 million, that's what it went out at.
I want to hear your listing agent scripts for negotiating multiple offers. Your listing agent script. So when you're a listing agent, you're listing a property, I want to talk about your scripts for negotiating multiple offers. And I want to start with, so I'm going to get you thinking here. I'm going to keep talking while you're thinking. The scripts that you use with other agents, the tactics you use with other agents, and then the scripts you use with your own client to set expectations, to present the offers, things like that, to justify cutting off the offers or dragging for more offers, things like that. Okay, so I want you to be thinking about what you do there that you like, that seems to work for you. And as you do that, I want to give you an explanation as to why. Understand that in this market, it is extremely, I'm sure you all know this, like it's very hard to have listings. Even the #1 agent in your market that lists more property than anyone else right now is stressed out that they don't have enough listings. And we coach a lot of the top agents in the country. I personally on the phone with a lot of them, and they're literally saying, I don't have any listings. I'm not used to having no listings. I'm used to having 50 listings. I've got no listings. And even if they get 20 listings tomorrow, by the weekend, they've got no listings again. So it's, the listings are there. They're just there for this little, brief moment in time. And then we've got no listings again, right? So understand that from a mindset perspective, okay? A mindset perspective, now more than ever, okay? Do we need to spend more time on listing or client lead generation activities and less time worrying about our existing clients? I'm gonna say that again, because I know it sounds awful to put anything ahead of customer service. Trust me, you won't put it ahead of customer service. I'm just hoping you move the needle a little bit here, right? Most of the time, most agents spend 100% of their time worrying about their 1 or 2 clients. Maybe they're 5 or 6 clients. Maybe they're 10 or 11 clients. And I don't know what you do, but for some reason it takes your time so that you're so busy, we cannot try to get more clients. And I don't know what the heck you're doing when you're worrying about them all the time. It is, I guess you're emailing them and I don't know, writing love letters for them. I don't know what it is that we're spending so much time on, especially when there's no listings to even show to clients. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really easy to be an agent right now with regards to customer service because you don't have to do a lot of showing because there isn't anything to show. So the vast majority of your time is freed up. Do you get that? And the only way to get listings, there's only one way to do it, guys. In case you haven't noticed, people choose the best agent to list their house, and they choose the closest agent with a pulse to represent them on the buy side. You got that yet? Because you need to get that. It's whoever can get me into that door the fastest on the buyer side. Don't really care much about your skill. Once I get in, I'll know what I want and all that. But listing my house, that's where I get a check. And I need the agent that can get me the highest check, the highest amount of proceeds out of that sale. So I'm gonna call the best on the listing side. Make sense? So you're gonna have to lead generate for listings. Now that's why we have you start with your sphere of influence, because those people in your SOI, they already know and trust you. And albeit they may not think you're the best, but they know and trust you. So it's the best they've got, and that's fine. I don't know what the best even is. But the point of the matter is, you have to do that work. You have to contact your SOI. You have to stay first of mind. You have to get out, like we said, and door knock or hold open houses if we can before they sell. We have to do lead generation activities. And those are just a few examples. Like we have to prospect for expireds. We have to door knock FSBOs. We have to farm neighborhoods. We have to do, establish our online presence on Google. We have to work on social media. We have to do those activities to generate listings because they aren't going to fall in your lap right now, guys. They're not going to fall in your lap. Your SOI is not going to just call you right now. It's too competitive. And you can't have a time excuse. You just can't, not in this market. It's the easiest market. You will never, ever have more free time than you will in an ultra hot seller's market when there's nothing to show. Because 80% of a real estate agent's time is spent showing. Make sense? And when we talk about, this is the reason most agents focus so hard on listings. It's because listings take, well, to represent a buyer, it takes 4 times as much time to represent one buyer start to finish as it does one seller start to finish. Think about it. You're showing property endlessly, writing offers endlessly. Still not even under contract yet. On the listing side, go to a listing appointment, take listing, wait for buyer's agent to do all the work. Then once it goes under contract, and I've chosen which lucky buyer's agent gets to go into contract with me, then guess what? The buyers have to remove all their contingencies. It's their appraisal. It's their inspections. It's their loan contingency. The buyer's agent's doing all the work the whole way through. I'm just still sitting here waiting. That's why listings, it's one of the many reasons why listings are so much more valuable, and they do not go to the agent with the best customer service. They don't. I wish they all got divvied up that way, but they don't. They get divvied up to the agents that lead generate the most. And if you don't believe me, look at the #1 agents in your association. You'll start to realize, oh, wait a minute, those guys are not good at customer service. They never referred phone calls. That's right, because they just lead generate. And I'm not saying that you need to sacrifice customer service to get there, but you do need to put customer service in its place. If you were to lead generate for 2 hours a day, Monday through Friday, that's 10 hours a week. Let's say you work 40 hours a week. That means you're only devoting 25% of your week to lead generation, which would be considered pretty light, and 75% of your week to customer service. I don't know any company that is successful on this planet that devotes 75% of their time and resources to customer service and only 25% to sales and marketing. But hey, if that's what, I'm saying that's all I need from you to be successful, because that's where listings come from. Lead generation. The people that put their SOI together, the people that reach out and contact their SOI, or any of the other things. Okay, so that's enough time. That's why listings are so valuable, and that's why we have to free up the time. So for those of you that have the privilege of representing listings towards the end of last year and this year, and have had a lot of multiple offers on your listings, how do you prepare your clients and work with your clients? And then how do you work with your agents? What are some of your strategies for handling this? Anybody want to weigh in? Some of my senior vets? I see David.
Basically, I let my listing client know that wants to get their house sold for the most money, that part of my strategy, besides social media marketing and blah, 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 that we are all versed at, is I let them know that I pre-negotiate. I guide the buyer agents. At first, when I have no offers, it's, hey, I've got a lot of people coming through here. I see this going over asking. And I highly recommend that you discuss with your client about making an offer with at least no appraisal contingency or a limited appraisal contingency, or better. Some people like to make no contingencies, but I don't try to talk them into forcing their client, but I want them to have a discussion, okay, with their clients. And I let my seller know that I'm pre-negotiating, meaning I'm having these discussions to generate the excitement to push the pricing up over asking, so that they'll be less.
Show your work. Show your work. Yeah.
They will be less inclined to want me to spend 10 hours doing multiple counters to 15, 20 people. Why? Because I'm already doing the negotiating.
There you go.
And that way, if we have to do any multiple counter offer, it would be just for a few people that meet the criteria. And I also let my seller know that it's important to look at their financing ability. Are they a W-2 earner, or are they going to be a 3 to 4 month pain in the ass small business person with very confusing financials that a bank's trying to figure out? Because everybody gets a pre-approval letter. I could probably get my 15-year-old niece in there, the pre-approval letter. So I do call the highly considered buyers. I call their financial guy to find out what the debt to income ratio is and find out whether they reviewed all the financials yet, or are they doing that later? I make it nonchalant for them to tell me they're an idiot. I want them to be relaxed about it,
Right. I like that. I like that.
So that way I know where to focus, and I can get at one deal in Porter Ranch, I got it up $200,000 above asking by pre-negotiating. The next guy, I told him it's going to be way over 50,000 over. And then as it perpetuated, I never lie, but I let them know, even when I have nothing in hand, that there's a lot of people looking at it, a lot of appointments, and I do see this easily going over. And then I just step it up from there to the point where
create the hype. Yeah, create the hype.
On $1 million property, $1.2 million, that's what it went out at.
And I mean, you're not lying if you say, I think it's going to go real high. I think it's going to go 1.2. Like, that's not lying. That's your thought. Like, you could be wrong. That's okay. So I like that. I like that. Creating the hype, getting them up there. Excellent.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah. Go ahead, Des. Go ahead.
No. When you're done, you're done.
I just want to recap a couple of things I heard there. I love the fact you're guiding the buyer's agents. I love the fact that you're pre-negotiating. I like what you called there, and how you then create some goodwill with your own sellers by showing your work to them, telling them, hey, here's what I'm doing. I'm going the extra mile for you. And I love the benefit from that then they're not going to expect you to do all of these counters and all this extra work because they know you've already been doing it. You know what I'm saying? So everything you're doing to pump the interest, to fan the flames up, always be telling that to your sellers. You know what I mean? Give yourself credit, because that'll make them feel good. Like, yeah, all right. And if you tell them how to feel, they will feel good. If you tell them nothing, they will feel worried. Does that make sense? So make sure you're telling them to feel good. Give them a reason to celebrate. Make it a good home selling experience. You know what I mean? And part of them is cheering for you. And it all helps you with your reviews, your referrals, all that kind of stuff too. So I love that. I really like that stuff, Dave. That was really good. Des, ask your question.
I was going to ask not just Dave, but maybe some of the more seasoned agents. So you have a listing, and then you get bombarded with all these appointments, showings, and then you're going to start getting your offers. Do you guys stop at a certain number, or do you just let them flow and take on 30, plus?
I usually set up a 2-hour time period for 2 days. Especially, I'm more sensitive if the property has the family there. Then it might only be an hour, and then I'll book the appointments 10 to 15 minutes apart, and they have to send in the COVID sheets and everything to me, and they have to text me. I don't want phone calls. I mean, I'll answer the phone, I won't yell at them, but I'll put in the MLS, please text for an appointment, and then I'll put the showing times that I've arranged with the seller, so I don't disrupt the family so much.
No, but what I was asking was, maybe I wasn't clear. I'm sorry, Dave. Once you start receiving your offers, do you just open it up for like a certain day, and then you just accept? Like, do you stop at a certain number? Do you stop?
Well, they always ask. When are the offers due? And I let them know. Like, let's say it goes on the market on a Thursday night, okay? And then usually I'll book for Saturday and Sunday showing times. I let them know. And I'll have a conversation with the seller, why don't we take a look at reviewing everything on end of day Monday or end of day Tuesday, and I'll let you know as we go the offers that are coming forward. If we have an all cash offer, $100,000 over asking, and it's a 24-hour take it or forget it, that's one reason why I want to always forward to the seller as the offers are coming. But I'll say, hey, why don't we preliminarily say the cutoff will be Monday at 5 o'clock. And I'll say, look, I'll keep forwarding the offers. That way you're abreast of the situation. And if there's something extraordinary, then you might want to take it earlier. So what I let the buyer agents know, because they always ask, maybe I'll hold my offer off until the 12 o'clock hour when it's due, which I don't like dealing with that. Okay. I'll let them know, look, for now, we're having a cutoff at Monday at 5, but I'm forwarding the offers as we go. So please put your best foot forward, talk to your client about at least, a no appraisal contingency to see if they're up for it, or some type of limit that they feel comfortable with, and whatever it is, and give it to me as soon as you can, because I will forward it immediately to the seller. Because what I want to do is get the offers in right away, so that if Brian comes in and he's the next guy, I can say, Brian, I can tell you this, we're talking a minimum of 30,000 over asking.
There you go.
Okay. So that way Brian can go to his client and say, look, the insight that I've got is we're going to have to be north of 30 over. And then the next guy I talk to, or lady, is we're going to be north of 50 over. But I can't do that negotiating magic, or whatever you want to call it, pre-negotiation, if everything comes in at the deadline, because that's what the buyer agents that have a half a brain would like to do. And so again, I tell them, I'm forwarding them as I get them. And I don't know if the seller's going to want to change their deadline. If there's a really attractive offer, just take it. So please submit.
I like that. I like that line right there. It takes it all off your back. So please hurry up, submit. I don't know if they're just going to take one or not. They're in the driver's seat on this. I'm trying to get them to hold off. I like that. I like that.
Thank you.
And see how he's out there doing what we call dragging offers, right? Like we're using every single offer we get, dragging the listing process along to get higher and higher offers. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how, and he's just saying, okay, it's going to be north of 20,000, going to be north of 30,000, going to be north of 50,000. I mean, he's really advocating on behalf of his client's best interest here. There's a lot of agents who are afraid to say things like that, and I'm not sure why. To me, we have a duty to drive those offers up, to tell people where they need to be, at least where we think they need to be. You know what I'm saying? So trying to drag out that process to get more and more offers, and use each offer to get the next offer higher, and then use the next offer to get the old offers higher. Now we're talking. I mean, that's what they hire us to do. Mm-hmm. That's what they hire us to do. And just the fact, I mean, for that reason, I think we always have to list with an agent. I don't think agents can be removed, because there's no way to have those conversations if you represent yourself. You see what I'm saying? Like, you need a middleman to be able to drive it up like that. And it's just phenomenal. I mean, I think you covered every single point, David, that I wanted to cover there. I wanted to make sure you guys covered. I really do. I love that. I love the scripts you're using with your clients. I love the fact you're showing your work. You're revealing all of your tactics to your clients. And boy, does that make them feel good. It makes them feel like they're in good hands. It makes them feel like they got the highest possible price they could have. It makes them brag to their friends about the price they got and their agent. When you actually reveal all of those different strategies to them and tell them why we're doing it this way, they love it, man. They love it.
Who's done counter offers to 15 offers? It's a pain in the ass. I avoid that.
It is. It's so much better to get them to come up. I mean, any negotiation, you want the other side to move before you have to. So what David's doing is he's trying to say, all right, get them up. We're not even going to look at them until you get them up. Get them up higher. Get them up north of 30. Get them up north of 50. Don't make me walk you all the way up. I can't walk 30 people at once up through 7 or 8 counters. And right now, in a very low inventory market, you can get away with that stuff.
Can I interject in here?
Yes, Joni, go for it.
Hi. So I had a listing, it's closed now, but it was my son. They had a brand new baby, but they were buying a for sale by owner house that they found. And so we had to get it on the market quick. So I did I had 40 appointments. So I had them every 15 minutes for the 10 hours over the weekend. And I just let the agents know, but I put everything on a spreadsheet. I put everything on a spreadsheet for the appointments. So I already had it on a spreadsheet for the appointments of who was on at what time. Then I was able to add a column for what their offer was, how much was down, and what the reserve was. Because it was listed at 620 for a starter home with a pool, and the 16 offers, we were up to 650, but most of them were 5% down and didn't have the reserves.
Okay.
And my son is a lender, so he knows what he's looking. But to simplify, and have in one sheet, I did the Excel spreadsheet and stuff. But I also text when I had the appointments on Saturday done. I text Saturday night to all the appointments on Sunday, because I had a waiting list for people that wanted to get in that I couldn't fit in, and 5 agents had dropped out without telling me, so I was able to fill those spots back in with my waiting list and get them in and stuff. So we ended up not taking the 650 offer, taking the 640, and with a lender that I was comfortable with and spoke to, that communicated well, and got the deal done in the 30 days and stuff. So having my son be a lender, he knows how this works, so I didn't have to have too much of a discussion. But when it's your own property, it's a little more, involved, and they had a new baby. And
yeah, and doing it in like a coronavirus environment is what makes that so tough. I mean,
right.
Scheduling 40 separate showings. I mean, life would be so much easier if, we could fast forward to a year from now and you could have all 40 come at the same time. I mean, think of how advantageous that would be to your seller to see that type of buyer feeding frenzy. They all see each other. I mean, you probably sell for 750 in that type of environment,
Right.
Just because they'd all see all the competition,
Right. Well, they were seeing the competition, because how buyers are always late and whatever. So they were trading places and, parking in the cul-de-sac and jockeying. So it was.
Yeah, print out your spreadsheet, put it on the front door. Yeah, know your place.
Yeah. Don't be late was my message to them Saturday night for Sunday, because you're going to throw the whole thing out and stuff. So, but I put a deadline. All offers have to be in by this date, and that worked. But I like the line of, I don't know if the seller will, if a really good offer comes in, if they'll
just accept it.
So I'll
get it in now.
For sure, adding that to my conversations.
Yep, I love that one too.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Joni. Anybody else got anything they want to add in there? Scripts about how to handle sellers in multiple offers, with scripts with their agents, script with their clients, strategies on that. I know David just stole the whole show there because he just went through them all, man. That was awesome, actually.